Hello and welcome back into the Collegian YouTube channel. I'm Evan Patrick, joined by Justin Morgenstein, and we're here to do a quick reactions video to Penn State's 75-55 win over Virginia Tech, ranked 15th in the country. A big win for this Penn State team after a disappointing loss to Seton Hall. I mean, Penn State, again, that Seton Hall game, led by 19 at one point, and then they came out and against this Virginia Tech team did what they didn't do on Sunday and were able to play a full 40 minutes like they did in that first half against Seton Hall. They were able to put the victory away. And I mean, this is arguably one of the best performances I've ever seen a Penn State basketball team put out. I mean, on the ESPN broadcast, they were joking around, and I mean, not even joking, saying that Penn State was playing a flawless game. They were playing a perfect game. I mean, Penn State had 0 turnovers in this first half of the game, which was a huge emphasis after that Seton Hall game because they really got sloppy with the ball. We're turning the ball over on simple inbounds passes, things like that. But the turnover margin was huge. Penn State scoring a ton of points off turnovers, and Virginia Tech was really never in this game whatsoever. And Penn State really benefited from a big night from Isaiah Brockington.
Yeah, Isaiah Brockington had by far his best game of the season so far. Had a career high 24 points and really just seemed to have that quickness, the quickness he had in the Iowa game at the Palestra last year, where he had his previous career high 23. And, Jim Ferry said in his post game press conference that he was doing it on all three levels too. He was getting the basket, he was hitting his jump shots. While they might not look the prettiest at times, they were pretty effective tonight. And, again, something that Ferry and Pat Chambers preached last year was trying to play that full 40 minutes. And Brockington, as well as, the rest of the backcourt, was really able to do that tonight and was, like you said, able to put together that almost perfect performance. So, I mean, that was huge from Brockington just to be able to get that, especially, on a night where Seth Lundy, who was their leading scorer heading into the game, didn't have a point.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the craziest things about this. I mean, if you would have said that Penn State's going to go on the road to Virginia Tech, beat the number 15 team in the country, and their leading scorer, Seth Lundy, who has been seen as like the heir to Lamar Stevens on this team, someone they can rely on, he didn't score. You told me this during the game. He wasn't even noticeable really on the floor, and that is a huge testament to the depth that Penn State has recruited and really developed over the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, the depth is what Penn State was kind of built on last year. I mean, losing Lamar Stevens and a guy like Mike Watkins is definitely noticeable and it's huge. But what made Penn State a different team compared to maybe years past last season was they had that depth to rely on when those guys weren't necessarily at their best. And I mean, this is big for Penn State because they did show that they can put together that full 40-minute performance, like you said. Jim Ferry, we just spoke to him in his press conference, said that when they went into the locker room, the only thing he put up on the whiteboard was, "We've been here before." And they showed that they can finish a game. They came out in the second half and looked as good as they did in that first half and were able to really see the victory out in a comfortable manner. And that's going to be huge moving forward as Penn State moves to its Big Ten schedule this coming weekend on Sunday. Penn State, Michigan for the opener for Penn State's Big Ten schedule. That is certainly going to be a big game, and it's going to really kind of show us where Penn State stacks up in the Big Ten as we move into the later part of December and into the new year with some conference basketball play. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Penn State beats Virginia Tech 75-55. Be sure to follow all of our coverage on collegian.psu.edu tomorrow for some follow-up content and on Twitter at Collegian Hoops.